Well, here we are at part 3, and in this I'm just looking at the bits I wasn't able to fit into parts 1 and 2. So I'll be looking at how you load this maggot feeder, how you tie this figure of 8, which they all keep mentioning, and how you get these float stops or line stops onto the line. I mean, it might seem common sense to most people, but for beginners like me, innocent of these things, then these are useful little snippets which you need to know. Anyway, let's get on and have a look at them. The question of where you put the hook bait into this pile of ground bait came up once or twice. Most people seem to have the hook bait on the top, but there were a couple of arguments about putting it on the bottom. The argument against having it on the top is that as the little mound of feed disintegrates on the bottom, the hook bait might fall to one side, so when the fish comes in and grabs it, the ground bait, it would leave the hook bait behind. Then again, if you have the hook bait on the bottom, when it comes in, it wolfs this ground bait back, it might leave it behind. So I'm going to just stick mine in the middle. So I've mixed up some ground bait. Not too sloppy, not too stiff. I think that'll do. Well, we've been watching underwater footage of tench around a method feeder. They sort of eye it up before they go in, and they wolf the whole lot back in one fell swoop. There's the little mould. Just press it in really tight, like that. Ignore the hair on this hook. It's a piece of plastic sweet corn, and you can't get the little stop pushed through with the needle. But under normal circumstances, you'd probably have your little piece of sweet corn on the hair, and then just fill it up the top. Again, pushing it in really hard. Like that. And take your feeder and stick it on there and press it down. That'll do. Now, see if you can get this out without it all falling off. Well, so there's this little mound of ground bait, in the middle of which is my hook bait. This little, and there's the hook length leading to it. Well, we'll give it a try, see how we get on, assuming there's some tench. That's it sitting on the top. Well, let's see what happens if you set up the maggot feeder with the hook bait on the top. I'm just going to leave that. Then I'll repeat it with the hook bait in the middle and see what happens. Well, there we are a couple of hours later, and the hook bait
It's fallen off the top and it's lying to one side. So I'll set up another one, and this time I'll put the hook bait in the middle, see what happens. Well, that's it with the hook bait in the middle. I'll leave it an hour or so, come back and see what's happened to it. Well, here we are a couple of hours later, and there you can just see the piece of sweet corn still in position in the middle. Obviously you'd have to do this little experiment many times, what we've seen in these two examples, but yeah, that's pretty impressive. Yeah, for those who are new to this caper, I'll just show you how you get these line stops or float stops onto your line. You'll notice that they're threaded onto a loop of wire. So you push your line through the wire, like so, like that. Then you take one of these stops and hold this a bit firmly, and you pull really hard, and the stop slides from the wire onto your line, and you keep pulling till you get past this tag end. And there it is. And you can slide it up and down to wherever you want. The problem is, once you've pulled them one off, the wire loop just about disappears. You can see on those there. And to get the next one off, you've got to open this loop up here, which if your eyes aren't very good, it's not the easiest of things to do. Well, that's a figure of 8 knot, which you use for tying non-slip loops on the end of your hook length, so that you can change it quickly. It needs tightening up, obviously. It's not easy to get on video. It's a difficult thing to tie with mono, but I can demonstrate it with a piece of string. Just take a piece of string and make something like that. So you take that loop round over the top. And you take it underneath, like so. So you have something that looks like that. And you take this loop, so you take it over the top, and you poke it back down through there. Pull it tight. So you get something that looks like a figure of 8. If you zoom in on that. And just pull it tight. There you have a loop, a non-slip knot. So you have this non-slip knot with a loop in the end. Figure of 8 knot.
In part 4, that will be my adventures on the bank. Video probably mostly cock-ups. I'm sure there'll be lots of anglers, but can't wait to see to see the cock-ups or mistakes I make at the time. But anyways, it's a learning experience. I can remember the first time I went barbel fishing. I found a peg a million miles from anybody else. Put the first 4 feeders straight across the river into the willows on the opposite bank. And then when I finally got one, cast into the middle of the river. Within 20 minutes, the rod was whipped off the rest. I'd never experienced anything like it. Fortunately, it floated and didn't go very far, and I was able to use the other rod to cast over the line and drag it in. So, who knows what to expect. I'll probably end up with a tench entangled in lily pads. But there we are. Well, there you have it, my first foray into the mysteries of tench fishing, without even set foot on the bank yet. Now I just need to find some tench and put the whole thing into practice. A big thank you to all of those anglers who have made videos, who have written articles or written books, because without them this video would not have been possible. So a big thanks to them. Anyway, for the moment, top spotting to you all, and take care. I'll see you again. Bye bye.